everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Shift Happens. Today we're talking to the lovely Sue, who has a plethora of skills, but today we're talking to her about mindfulness and breath work. So let's talk to Sue. So
Hello.
And welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So mindfulness and breath work,
Yeah.
we assume everyone knows what that is, but just explain to us what those modalities are really.
Okay. So mindfulness is all about being present, living in the moment. I always say it's like this is being right in the moment. And when you're here, you're not thinking about the past, you're not worrying about the future. So it trains your brain to be more present. And obviously, we're all going to have millions of thoughts, as we always do, in meditation as well.
Yeah.
And what mindfulness does is you bring it back. You learn how to bring it back. Paying attention on purpose is how the godfather of mindfulness, John Kabat-Zinn, describes it as well. So, yeah.
Very simply put there.
Yeah, that was. But it's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only moment in which we can make change and actually be powerful is in the moment, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So-
and I think with breath work is, I like to describe the two, like mindfulness is your sweet old grandma who, if you listen to her and you do what she says, you're going to benefit from it. Breath work is like your older sister. It's like a punch in the gut, and if you do what she says, you're going to benefit from it, kind of thing.
Really? I love that.
So breath work is far more intense.
Yeah.
And I think the release comes, whereas I think with mindfulness, it's called a practice for a reason. You have to put it into practice to feel and see the benefits, whereas breath work, it's more instant kind of thing, So breath work, the kind of breath work I do, because there's lots of different ones, conscious connected breath work is all about deep breathing, to access parts of your subconscious, to release what we're holding on to, whether that's trauma, whether it's a big trauma, a little trauma, grief, hurts, upsets, heartbreaks that our bodies hold on to, even if our minds feel that they've dealt with it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. I just find it really fascinating that, because obviously I've done one of your breath workshops, and I just find it really fascinating how the deep breathing, it's like the air is going round the body going, right, let me find it, there's the trauma, there's the pain, and then it comes out, doesn't it? I just find it really, on my occasion I was very resistant and I didn't really want to let go, because you whispered in my ear and went, let go. I remember that.
What did you do then?
So, well, I took on board the words, but I was still holding on. I did have some release, but probably not as much as I probably could have, really. But it just goes to show how much we hold in our bodies, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Would you say that's what it is? Like the breath is going.
Do you know what? I've never heard it described like that.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm going to use that from now on, because that was brilliant. Because it is. It's like it's going around, and it's like, right, where are we going? Where are we going to find this from? Oh, there, in the hip, in the thigh. Let's get rid of that, shall we? And I think because it's so powerful. We all. I couldn't talk without my hands, could I? I'm going to try not to. I don't know if you can see this.
Hand movers, so don't worry.
And I'll also lose my train of thought and forget words like I do so often.
Don't worry, it's fine.
Anyway, let's see. There we go. It's gone already. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bollocks. Okay. What was
You
I
found
saying?
it fascinating that how it goes around the body.
Our subconscious holds on to so much, and again it's designed to keep us safe, isn't it? So it doesn't want us thinking about that thing that happened when we were 7 and 12 and 18 and 32, so it keeps it locked away. So it does. So the breath kind of goes down by doing that deep kind of breathing. You go back into that fight or flight stage, but it's all safe, it's all intentional, and by doing that then you hit that theta state as well, where like just before you're about to drop off to sleep and everything, and that's where you can access your subconscious and dive deep and
So
let go.
And let go. So consciously connected. What does that actually mean?
So you're conscious of your breath. There are no pauses in this kind of breath. So there's a conscious connected circle of breath. Like anyone that's done any Wim Hof style breathing, there's breath retention where you hold your breath and then you go back to the breathing. With the kind of breath work that I do, you just are continuously breathing. The inhale follows the exhale and that kind of thing.
So does that take you into almost like a state of hyperventilation? Does it change the oxygen and everything?
It does. It changes the oxygen and the pH levels in your body and everything. But no, we want to avoid hyperventilation. And that's why I am like a hawk by nature. You know, I am watching people, and if you're taught how to breathe properly, that's not going to happen. But you will go into that fight or flight. But like I say, it's controlled, it's intentional, and you're in a safe space as well. So that's not something to fear. It's something it's to help you to let go. Yeah.
So what kind of, can we do a little demo? Will you do a demo? Or Kerry, she's done it before. Kerry loves to do a demo.
Do I?
So, yeah, you do. Look at the camera, Kerry.
You're the demo girl.
And can you talk, Kerry, so we can kind of almost, you know, experience the, because like you said, there's so many different types of breath work, isn't there?
Okay, so it's all belly breathing, what we do. So if you place your hands on your belly, now when you're seated, your chest is always going to move a little bit. And I always say to everyone as well, if you bear in mind you've been breathing a certain way your whole life, and some people are naturally chest breathers, so it can take them a while. And some people are, I think it's called paradoxical breathing, where when you breathe in, your belly goes in, and when you breathe out, your belly goes out. So what we want to do is when you breathe in, your belly comes out. So
through the mouth.
When either mouth or nose. And then when you breathe out, your belly falls back in.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, nice and gentle to start with, filling that belly. So here we go, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and again in through the nose.
I hope I don't sound like Darth Vader.
You might.
I am watching you, just put you under a bit more pressure.
You are my child, Luke. And out.
May the force be with you.
God. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth. Okay. So breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth, you're naturally going to get even more air into the belly. And the out exhale is total relaxation. There's no forcing, there's no holding, there's no controlling. So in through the mouth and out. And now you're going to open your mouth even wider. And again. It's going to sound sexual.
Come on, no laughing.
I'm sorry.
I just thought we're really close to the mic, isn't it?
I'm already feeling a bit lightheaded doing that. Yeah.
And that can happen. Obviously, you're lying down. That would be a very slow process. So you would be breathing, because a breathwork session, I say, lasts around 2 hours. But I tend to, you're not breathing for that long, but I tend to do, because I theme my breathwork sessions. So I could do releasing limiting beliefs, self-love, releasing past loves, where we do lots of cord cutting, inner child healing, lots of different things. So I always do an exercise before we get into the actual breathing, but you're breathing for around about an hour. So you are starting off nice and slow, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, a big one is, again, total relaxation on the exhale. And then I'll ask you, the music is played all the way through. As the music intensifies, I ask the breath to intensify. So just for an example, some people will be breathing like this. And for a while. And then we hit what I call the peak. Yeah. The peak is when I ask you to really go for it, because you build up to that point. The peak, now I like to do this, not everyone does this, but I like to get people to scream in sessions, because it's really cathartic as well. So I ask people to bring a pillow and scream into the pillow. Now some people want to scream and they go like that and nothing comes out, and that's absolutely fine. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But some people think, oh yeah, I'm not really a screamer. Put that, and then they just like really let rip, and they're like, oh my God. And that sometimes can be the doorway to the big release kind of thing. Not always. Sometimes the doorway to the release, sometimes it can happen right at the start. Sometimes it's when the music really slows down right at the end. And then all of a sudden you're crying and you don't know why you're crying, or you do know why you're crying. So, because there are all different things that you can experience as well. So, because what we're saying about the oxygen and the pH levels, there's a thing called tetany, and tetany can make your hands claw up.
I experienced that.
Pins
that was
and needles.
so bizarre.
And I had, when I first started, I had a few people that were doing it, and they were real the claw, and they thought, oh my God, my hands, how am I going to drive home with my hands like this? But as soon as you start breathing normally, naturally, like we're breathing now, it all goes back to normal. But it can cause you sometimes can feel like you're stuck to the floor. And when I first heard that, I thought, oh no, I don't like the sound of that. I'd like to be in control. I'd like to know when I can move my body. And it happened to me, and I really enjoyed it because I knew I'd be able to move if I wanted to. But I was just like, oh wow, I'm stuck, but I know if I want to do that, that I can, kind of thing.
You experienced it.
I have, but not consciously. I think I have, but in different. I went to. Have you heard of Jerry Sargent, Star Magic?
No,
he does.
So.
I went to a breathwork weekend, and we spent the whole weekend breathing.
Wow!
And it was intense. But there was one. What's it called? Where it's a.
Oh, right. I know it. Yeah. Because there's all sorts of,
We had to do that. I've got... And everyone was doing it together, and it was fine. And then he left us to do it on our own. And then he let us go on our own, right? So I will move away from the mic to do this. So some people were like, and then some people started going, right, all at different times. Well, my sister was with me, and I thought, dare I look at her? Dare I look at her? So I turned around and looked at her. That was it. We were absolutely gone. And we got told off. So that particular breath work wasn't the best for me. But there's called fire breath and all different sorts, isn't it? So it was amazing. And I was saying to the a guy that we were talking to about remote viewing that I really had this kind of up into the universe.
Sorry, you nearly took out the studio there.
I just get a bit overexcited. I'm a bit overexcited with things.
You're not yawning.
So exactly. I'm not yawning.
Oh God!
But I've just blown the guys in the glass booths who edit and do whatever ears off with my dragon breath.
But I know what you mean, because I did a 3-day breath work, really intensive, and it was unbelievable. I mean, there was about 18 of us, and again, I always encourage this in my sessions, that to let out noises, to if you want to and scream and whatever, if you want to let it out. And when we did this, the very first session, there was like people screaming, like men, like guttural screaming and high-pitched screaming from the ladies. And what was great was it gave you the confidence to really let go yourself as well. Because I think, again, like you were saying, Kerry, about the resistance, and sometimes when it's your first time and you don't really know that much about it, you do feel a bit like, oh, I don't know how much I want to let go here, So, and that's a lot of people. And so you have some people who just go with it, right? Because we say, the key is surrender. Just go for it straight away. And then other people who are like, okay, now I know what it's all about, I'm going to come back and then I'm going to really let go, kind of thing, So, but that happens, But you can go into like an altered state of consciousness. You can, I've experienced all sorts doing it. In fact, my very first session was only a half an hour session with the company that I trained with. And I wrote in my journal afterwards, And my very first thing was, wow, just wow. And I say something like, I think I've experienced something that is going to change my life. And I absolutely believe it has as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what made you choose to do breath work?
So it all started with mindfulness, which all started with meditation. So years ago, I just wanted to meditate every single day. And I think I intuitively knew it would be good for me. I've always kind of suffered with bad sleep and everything like that, and tried. I remember cutting out caffeine for 2 weeks, did absolutely nothing for me whatsoever. So I wanted to learn to meditate, and I would watch YouTube videos, and I'd download apps, and I'd go to the Buddhist centre, but nothing would stick, nothing would make me do it every single day. And then I did just an online course, a meditation course, and that's where I found mindfulness meditation and transcendental meditation as well. So I kind of did both. I straight away found a teacher training course for mindfulness, and also I don't teach transcendental. I do that for myself. That's something I just wanted to do, and I basically did a really intense mindfulness course, qualified, but even as soon as I'd trained before I qualified, I just put it into practice every single day. And I was just, so I'm meditating every day, I'm being mindful, I'm being more purposeful and present about things. And then I think that was in the July, in the October, the shit hit the fan for me. And I had an uncle who got rushed into hospital. We thought we'd lost him. The following week, found an uncle dead in bed. The following week, one of my pets died. We all know what I'm like with animals. One of my pets died, and then the uncle who was in hospital was okay, but he had to go into a home. That was a battle. And then the following month, someone wrote off my car, and it was just, that was it as well. I found out the uncle that we'd found, I was the sole executor to the will. I wasn't a beneficiary, so I had to do all the work and got absolutely nothing for it. I don't think my auntie and uncle realised that I wouldn't get anything when they signed the papers, bless them.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was it. So I had to empty a house, sell a house. And if you've ever been an executor to a will, it's a lot of work. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I always remember Deb, you've spoken to Deb, Cacao, fellow physog. I remember Deb saying to me one day, you are coping with this really, really well. And I was like, I am, aren't I? Because I didn't feel that stress. Now, if that had been me 2 years earlier when I couldn't breathe because I was so stressed.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to imagine what could have happened if that had been me. And I honestly believe that was all down to mindfulness. I really do. And I've spoken to a few other mindfulness teachers, and they will say mindfulness saved me. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And then lockdown hit, and again, Deb had introduced me to Wim Hof breathing, and I knew it was really good for your immune system. So I started doing that on a regular basis. And then I read a book called Breathing Space, and it just, again, blew me away how it's kind of... It seems like it's a novel, but it's a true story about a lady who wants to find herself, moves to New York, comes across this yoga teacher he's an American guy, but he was trained in India. And every time she has a problem, he gives her a different breathing thing to do to help with this problem. And that was like, do you know what? I want to do more of this because, I could read it, and you can read a book more than once kind of thing. So, that was what. And then I started looking at breathwork courses and came across Inner Camp, which is a company that I trained with. And I looked at lots of different websites, but with theirs, I read everything on the website more than once. I looked at every testimonial, and I'm a big feelings person, and it felt right. It was it was like, I need to do this. Yeah. And that was where, and then it was just kind of like an add-on to what I do with mindfulness as well. So,
Wow.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? So you said that you've had lots of experiences with the consciously connected.
Yeah.
So what experiences have you had? Have you been on all fours screaming and crying before? And
Not on all fours,
I'm
no.
looking for the drama here.
Okay.
All fours.
So
Well, there was a lady when I went was on all fours, literally crying, or like an animal. You know, just releasing, just letting go.
Yeah. So
yeah.
my first one was just a kind of thing that blew me away, and we did an inner child one, and which I really, really loved because I just went on this journey with little me. My brother who died in 2008 was there as well. We were dancing around a fire, and that's when I kind of I think my guide. I'm not really big on guides, but this beautiful man. I don't even want to know where he's from. Almost like. Forgive me if I'm not saying this right. Like American Indian. What's it? What I don't know how to explain.
Native
Native American Indian. Yeah, that's kind of what he looks like. And he doesn't speak any English, but we communicated, kind of thing. And he told me his name was Ashanti, and I've just held on to that. I don't know where that came from. But every time, when you say call upon your guides and your ancestors, I just feel him there, kind of thing. But
I like that.
And then I have cried and said, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm crying, kind of thing. A really interesting one was, it was, because you do get this sometimes, I find, with breath work, that you're breathing, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, this is going to be the one where nothing's going to happen, and that's fine if that happens. And this was one of those times. And then all of a sudden I had this sense of a nun standing at the bottom of my feet, and I just thought, I'm just going to go with this. I don't know where this has come from, but just going to go with it. And then it kind of came, she's looking down, and there's a woman crouched over by this nun's feet, and this woman has just stabbed herself in the stomach. And what I got from it was, and I don't know if it was a past life thing, if you believe in things like that, but I sensed that this woman was pregnant and they would have taken her baby away, and that's why she would have rather have killed herself and the baby than it taken away. Yeah. Pretty upsetting,
Wow,
powerful.
That's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I had one at the retreat over in Spain, because the company I train with are Spanish, and so they train people all over the world. And that was an interesting one because my intention was to let go. And it was a cacao and breathwork ceremony, actually, absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm breathing, and then all of a sudden I can just, in my mind's eye, I can see like a light, and it's just like, again, when something comes up, you just go, okay, well, let's see where this is going, And then it was almost like this, it got bigger, and there was a silhouette of a man in between it, and he knelt down by my legs, and I naturally opened my legs, kind of like my feet are together, so my knees part. And he kneels down and he's going, let go. And in my mind, I'm going, I don't know how. And then he presses his hands on my belly. This is all like in my imagination, it felt very, very real.
Yeah.
Presses his hands, and I felt this like pain in my lower belly, and he pressed onto it, and the next thing I know, there was a baby. It was like I gave birth.
Really?
And there's a baby by me, and then I saw this child as a toddler and then as an older man, kind of thing, and I don't know where that came from, but one of the guys on who now works for the company, one of the guys said, I've given birth during breathwork as well. Yeah, unbelievable.
Wow.
And then you have, people that come to the sessions, and, sometimes it will be a physical thing. I did a session, I had a crystal healing years ago, and I did a breathwork session as well. And the same thing happened. My entire body ached like I was going to get the flu. When your bones ache, and it was so uncomfortable. I remember in the crystal healing thinking, oh God, I can't wait to get off this bed and take some paracetamol because I ache.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened in breathwork. The second it was over, completely gone. didn't need painkillers because it was all to do with releasing.
Yeah.
So whether it's a physical thing or whether it's an emotional thing or a visual thing, you know, so you can see all sorts.
So the people that come to you, why are they coming to you? You know, what are the sort of common theme or thread of what's happening?
I think it's a few different things. People have heard of breathwork, but they don't really know what it's about. So they're intrigued, or they have heard me talk about it and say that it's all to do with release. And I think sometimes people are drawn, aren't they? And they kind of, again, like I was to meditation, which, going back to that, helped me sleep massively, you know. Going back to meditation in being drawn to it, I think there's this, I feel like I need this, and they don't always know why.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because they've gone through, they feel stuck, they feel low, they're looking for something, or they know that they need to heal somewhere.
So it's not like, you know, I've got a pain in my hip, or I've got depression, or, you know, it's just something that they feel drawn to do.
It could be to do with any of those things as well. You know, it's kind of people that have come to me, you know, there are people that have experienced childhood sexual abuse, you know, domestic abuse, and just massive anxiety, and they've read that it's really good for anxiety. One lady said to me, which I didn't know actually at the time, that before she started coming, she'd got high blood pressure, very high blood pressure, but it was like medicated. And she'd done so many sessions, and she was like, it's completely back to normal, and the only thing I've done different is this.
Wow.
So, you know, and then one lady, I did a retreat, and again, I was going to say, you'll know what I do is, I work intuitively, and if I feel that someone's on the verge of a release or they're not letting go, I'll go over to them and I'll try and encourage it. And I'll always touch someone's shoulder so they know that I'm there. Yeah. Sometimes I can press down on the chest, or sometimes just the arm, or I'm there for comfort if they're having an emotional experience. I sometimes tap, or sometimes people can cough. It's almost like an exorcism sometimes. Yeah. And they're coughing and they like that, so I put my hand under their back and help them that way to release. And this one lady was like, how did you know to touch my arm? And I was like, I didn't. She went, but you did. I've had problems with my arm for weeks now, and now it's completely gone. And I went, I just can't be Jesus, you know. But I was like, I just instinctively went over. I obviously touched her arm and did something. So, yeah.
And that's,
but it is,
it
fascinates me still, you know. I just love it. Can I just say as well, at the end of a session, I will say to people, please forgive me. I said, in the kindest way, I went, but you all look fucked. This is great for me, because hair's all over the place there, you know, makeup's down the face and everything. And they're like, what the hell's just happened to me? And I'm like, because I know how good you're going to feel after this, because that's what it's all about, releasing all the shit that we hold on to, that we don't even know that we're holding on to it.
Well, I know that when you say that, everyone's absolutely knackered, because you held space for a breathwork session at Ecopsia at my retreat at the weekend, and one of the ladies had to send to bed.
She did say she was exhausted.
She was so exhausted. She was sitting outside in the evening session just like this. She said that it took all of her energy. Yeah. But how amazing, because she gave herself to it. Oh, she did, completely.
Yeah. And I see that in people.
Yeah.
I can see when people are really going for it, and when they're just breathing nice and natural, and they don't.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying
that was
me. but even then, people can still really go for it and still resist it, you know.
Yeah.
Years ago, I saw someone, the bottom lip started to quiver, and she bit her lip, and I'm thinking, no. But she wasn't ready.
No,
and that's fine.
And that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to be.
I felt irritable, I did, when I was doing it, because, and I think that irritation was whatever I was holding. I was like, I don't want to let it go. I want to hold on to it still.
Yeah.
I think that.
And your subconscious is going, no.
Yeah.
No, shut up, Sue. stop talking, turn your music down, that kind of thing. And that's normal as well.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, you're right. It's our breath is our life force, isn't it? It is our life force.
Yeah.
And I spent so many years being afraid of my breath because I used to have really bad panic attacks. And, if anyone out there has suffered that yourself, please, talk about it, because I think it's really, I'm interested to know actually whether anyone else was worried about or afraid of their breath.
Yeah.
So I used to hyperventilate. And so I went through years of panic of anything that would make me focus on my breath.
Yeah.
And so I think...
Just bring your mic in.
Oh, sorry. I would... it's really... Because it can help with anxiety.
Oh, God, yeah.
It would have really taken me a lot to do it, because I was so afraid of it, because
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, for years. It was in my... back then, I was in my early 20s. I didn't know what it was. Sometimes my mom would notice it and she'd go, "You're breathing funny." And it would be that... when you can't get that air in, and then you think, "Oh, that's weird," and then you try again and you still can't get it, kind of thing, and it gets scary.
It's
and
terrifying.
I was like that for years, and I didn't even know it was called anxiety. It wasn't as a common word as what it is now. It's like 7 years ago, I know, but it's that whole. It really is. I've had panic attacks as well, and it's horrendous. It really is so scary,
and it's so prevalent with people now. So breath. Obviously, the one thing that I learn is that if you control your breath, if you learn to control your breath, your body can't help but relax, because it's to do with your nervous system,
isn't it?
So
you'll hear of the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that links the brain to the gut, and it's that whole, by stimulating that, naturally calms your nervous system. A really good one for people to do, those are watching, is humming. So if you take a deep breath in and hum it out, that naturally calms your nervous system down, And you know what? I still get it now. If something, personally, my brother had a massive heart attack just over a week ago, and he's fine, he's all good, he's in recovery, he's doing really well. But that triggered the breathing straight away for me. So I had to spend, it's like, you know what to do. This is what you teach people. So I'm putting everything into place to get my nervous system regulated again. So,
Why do you think people don't breathe properly?
I don't know. I think it could be from a young age, kind of from 0 to 7 is when we learn everything, isn't it? So if something happens at a very young age and you go, and you've just sparked a memory for me. I remember years ago, I must have been about 6, and I was holding my mum's hand. We were about to cross the road, and I saw a car come, and she didn't, and she went to cross into the road, and I went, and that stopped her from crossing into the road, but that could have been the start of me. I think little things like that, and then you just,
because I suppose if you think about everyday life, you're going shopping, you're in the car, we shallow breathe, don't we? We shallow breathe in our chest, rather than holding our breath, really.
And I think when I spoke about the belly breathing earlier, it can take. It took me a long time to just belly breathe. I can belly breathe without even moving my chest now.
Show off.
So but that took a long time, And really, interestingly, I was about to do a session. I'm talking about breathing into the belly, and one lady went, "I don't know where I breathe," and I was a bit like, "How can you not know where you breathe?" kind of thing. And it was like, but if you don't think about it, how do you know? And a lot of us, we don't think about how we breathe until we can't, do we? And it's that, and all you want is that breath. Yeah. It's like when you've got a cold and your nose is blocked up, all you want is to be able to breathe through your nose again. Or if you're ill, all you want is to feel well,
Exactly.
So
Oh, we take it so for granted, don't
Yeah.
we? Our beautiful breath.
I know. And I say to
Yeah.
people in session, you know, trust your body, trust the process, trust in your breath. It's the first thing you do when you come into the world. It's the last thing you do before you breathe. It's so powerful.
It is.
It is. And a lot of people, again, because people like you will say to me, you know, but how? We're just breathing. How can that happen just through breathing?
Yeah.
But again, it's all about tapping into that subconscious.
Yeah.
And I've had people who haven't cried. This has happened 3 occasions. 3 different people said, I haven't cried for, it was between 12 and 14 years.
Wow.
I know. I could cry at an empty crisp packet.
Yeah,
I could.
me too.
It's, you know, adverts. You get me watching those videos where people give puppies to kids and they start crying. Oh, I'm gone. I'm a crier, you know. So for me, for somebody, you know, one was a guy and he came and he hugged me and he was like, fuck have you just done to me? And I was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, honestly, I haven't. He said, because I've had to hold it together for the family for so many years because of like losing people. And I had that experience as well with grief. My nan died when I was 10. It was the first person. I'd never experienced a death in the family. I never cried. Did a breathwork session and she was there. And I was like, oh my God. And the tears came out then that the 10-year-old couldn't deal with, you know.
No,
Isn't
that's
it incredible that we're walking around? I suppose if you think about all the traumas and all the hurt that you've been through, it's kind of like you're carrying around like a sack of potatoes and you get used to it.
Yeah.
And until you actually surrender or do something, the modality of breath work, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I was carrying around the sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
That's it,
you know,
isn't it?
and we store so much in our even little finger, toe.
Yeah.
Like there could be a whole... I don't know.
Plethora.
A plethora. I didn't even know what that word meant until today. What's the word again? Plethora.
Plethora.
Yeah, there could be a whole trauma in your little finger and you can just breathe it out of your... Yeah. I just think... I do find it just kind of mind-blowing, really.
And you saying carrying around the sack of potatoes, the thing I hear the most from after breathwork sessions is I feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
Because they've let go of something. One guy came and he said to his friend, he went, you know, that knot that I've had in my stomach for ages, it's gone.
Yeah.
Someone said, I feel reborn and, you know, so...
So I'm going to say to everybody out there that's listening, you know, where are you carrying your sack of potatoes? You know, how can you become lighter? You know, have a think about that one. I'm going to leave that. It's like a Jerry Springer, but in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, the last minute.
No, that's right. That's right though, because often you do know where you're carrying your trauma without realising, because you know, undealt with energy, trauma manifests itself as pain.
Yeah. And illness.
Doesn't it?
Well, it's
illness,
the word
yes.
disease, a dis-ease in the body.
Yeah.
And there's this book called The Body Speaks Its Mind. I can't remember the author, and it's amazing.
Is it Body Keeps the Score, that one, or is that a different one?
No, that's probably a different one. And it's a book that you don't read front to back, but you can just look up the physical problem that you've got going on and it'll give you the emotional meaning and it will ask you the questions. And I'd use it with clients and get them to read the questions, and then that encouraged them to go into that physical problem, and then you can start the healing process, because really the body...
thinking Amazon, what was that called again?
I'll give it to you at the end.
There are other places you can buy your books from, people.
But, you know, really... the body, we shouldn't have any problems in our body. I know you've got genetic stuff and ancestral stuff that can run through in the body, but really if you have dealt with your trauma and you've healed and you've expressed, because it has to go somewhere, and if you don't express it, it will find the weakest part in your body and it'll just knuckle and settle down in there and then cause you issues, really. So
can I that's just made me think of an experience that I had at the cinema. And have you heard of the film Blink Twice?
Rings a bell.
It's pretty horrific, I'm going to say. It actually, I've never seen a film that comes with a trigger warning.
Is it an 18?
Really?
It's got Channing Tatum in it. My friend loves Channing Tatum. We were having a cinema night and it was like, oh, shall we just go? It looks a bit weird, but shall we just go? And it was like, oh, Christ,
Is that the one when they're in the house?
Yes.
I started watching it, but I couldn't get into it.
Right, maybe a good thing. But without giving any spoilers, it's kind of like it comes into play throughout this film that horrendous things are happening to the ladies, kind of thing. And we're watching this, me and my friend, and my body just starts to shake. And I'm thinking, what is going on? I could feel my belly was just all over the place, and my entire, when you're so cold and you're like involuntary shake and you can't control it, and I'm just shaking, and I'm sat next to my friend and I'm thinking, can she feel me? So I kind of moved away and I'm thinking, oh, this isn't nice. I don't like this at all. And it was like, but then knowing what I know, shaking, especially through breath work, is a sign of trauma leaving your body. And it's that whole, with animals, if they experience something traumatic, naturally shake it, and they have to shake it off. If an animal doesn't shake off the trauma, it kills them. Us humans hold on to it.
Store it.
Yeah, so it's that whole, my body was shaking, and it was just, and I still don't know why. I've spoken to various people and I still don't know why, but I was releasing something. I just thought, I have to just let this come out. I have to just shake and everything. But it wasn't nice at all. I've never watched the film since, but I'd be interested to see if it happened again, kind of thing. So, but yeah, and that, whether that's, like you say, ancestral, past life, you just don't know what you carry on, what you hold on to, from other people.
Well, this is it. It's fascinating, isn't it? The whole kind of, ancestral trauma is nuts.
Yeah.
But actually, is it?
Yeah.
It seems nuts, doesn't it? And mad on the surface of it. But why wouldn't? And the thing that really blows my mind with that is that our cells carry memory of our ancestors' past trauma.
Yeah.
So, you're living with your mum's trauma, your grandma's trauma, whoa, it's mind-blowing when you think about all of that.
That's fascinating.
Well, we're all in someone else's body for 9 months, aren't we? Or however many. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But I think for me, the thing that's just kind of landed now is, and it goes on from what you were just saying then, Kerry, is the way to keep healthy. I think we're so conditioned to deal with disease when it presents itself. Mm-hmm. If we live a more mindful life on a daily basis, if we practice breath work, if we practice healthy eating, if we, move our bodies, if we do all of those things, then the end result is a much cleaner, healthier
It's an
life.
Inside job.
It is
an inside job.
It's an inside job.
Everything. Yeah. Definitely.
So, and I think, yes, eating healthy is part of it, but to be honest, it's the emotional clearing inside. Because I think you can eat healthy, but if you haven't dealt with your emotions and cleared that on a cell level as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Definitely.
You're right. And we're not taught, are we, especially in the Western culture, to deal with our emotions. No. Stiff upper lip and all that. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with you,
And again, especially men as well, you've got to be strong. You've got to be,
this is it. Because to cry is your beautiful body's way of lowering your cortisol and releasing your stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet everyone's ashamed to do it. Come on, you're all right. There's nothing wrong with you. No.
Yeah.
I'm not all right. I'm letting it go.
Absolutely.
Or we say sorry when we cry.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And I still do as well.
I still do.
But I don't
sorry.
to other people. I'll say, don't apologise. Let it out. Better out than in.
I know.
Like a fart. It's only going to make you bad if you hold on to it.
Exactly. Are you hearing this, Craig? My poor husband, he does get a bit ripped into with each podcast, but he'll say to me, what's the matter with you? I'm sad. He's an ex-Marine northerner,
Oh, okay, Let it all out, Craig.
Yeah, let it all out. Let it all out. So, Sue, you know what? This has been the quickest The time has
It's
just
gone so quick.
so quick.
It has, actually. I don't even know how long that was.
Can you
It's been
believe
about
it?
45 minutes.
Yeah, Craig's just come to give us the, times.
Feels like we've
Shut up now.
No,
Thumbs up.
but I can't believe
I
it.
feel like we've only been
that's
sat here for 10
good.
minutes.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's
We're
been-
all talkers, aren't we?
Yeah.
So.
We are. It's been really insightful about
Yeah, it's been great.
breathing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. Shift
Thank you for
Happens.
having me.
Yes, you are now a shifter.
Yes. Oh, excellent.
I feel like we should have had like a nice glass of wine and a cappuccino here with us while we chat.
A glass of wine and a cappuccino. It's a great combination.
It is.
You're tired.
Yeah, it's coming out in that, isn't it? I am tired. Yeah.
Thank
Brilliant.
you so much.
Wow.
Thank you.
This might be my first podcast talking about this. I've done radio before talking,
Yeah.
but I think this is my first one. So how about that? Thanks
Amazing.
so much.
Thank you, Sue.